So now I'm going to do models of duopoly, starting with Cournot model. Duopoly is obviously when there are only two forms in the market. I'm reading through my notes for my division, so there would be multiple like interruptions in between. So I am still newer to it, and let's go with the assumption. So the first assumption is two firms which can observe each other in market. Second is homogeneous product. So there is no product differentiation in Cournot. Just to highlight, we are doing the Cournot model. So there is homogeneous product and there is simultaneous quantity setting. In Sweezy, which I did in earlier video, it was price setting. In Cournot, it is quantity setting. And simultaneous quantity setting basically means that when none of the firm knows quantity setting by another firm, then like one firm sets their own output based upon their own market demand curve, price, and everything, and then the another one start making not on the basis what the previous one had decided, but completely on their own. Market demand curve, this is the fourth assumption. Market demand curve, sorry for my handwriting, I'm like reading notes as well. And market demand curve is given as P is A minus BQ. Quantity is Q1 plus Q2. Q1 is quantity produced by firm 1, Q2 is quantity produced by firm 2. A and B both are positive, and firms compete to control the market. Then we have fifth assumption, which is marginal cost is C. Original assumption of Cournot was 0 MC, and there is no fixed cost. Okay, so let me just. Originally, according to Cournot assumption, it was that there is no marginal cost, but now we assume that marginal cost is there, which is C, and there is no fixed cost. Then let's start with extent of market. Kindly watch it in 4x if you want, because I don't think so. I would be able to match the speed in which I usually intake YouTube content. So, extent of market is basically it means that maximum output that can be sold in the market, uh, that is the extent of market, and this happens in case of perfect competition. Um, in perfectly competitive output, so perfectly competitive output is A minus BQ is equal to C. Quantity is A minus C upon B. Now, this is important because everything is about the extent of market. So, in perfectly competitive markets, this is the extent of the market. Simply put, in in perfectly competitive market only. In monopoly, so I did monopoly part also on and I uploaded it on X and deleted it from my end. But since now I don't have access to my own Twitter account, so yeah, let's see what happens. I might just not get that back anyways, and we continue to build upon this. So in monopoly, the extent of market becomes, just so that you remember, monopoly is when there is only one firm. So P is A minus BQ, which is the demand market demand curve. For monopoly, total revenue is P into Q, which is, okay, sorry, so which is A minus BQ multiplied by Q, which will be equal to AQ minus BQ whole square. I mean BQ square. I'm new to this, sorry. Okay. Then marginal revenue will become del TR by del Q, which is AQ minus BQ square divided by del Q. This will be simply A minus 2BQ. So this will be now in equilibrium, obviously MR is equals to MC. So this was MR, this was MR in case of monopoly. In equilibrium, MR is equals to MC, which is A minus BQ equals to C. Quantity produced by monopolist will be thus A minus C upon 2B. This is the extent of market for monopolist. Extent of market for monopolist. I would just make a table to compare all the extent of market in case of monopoly, Cournot, perfect competition. But this is for the monopolist. This is for the perfectly competitive market. And this would thus means that obviously extent of market uh, would suggest the quantity produced. So in monopoly, firm always sell half of the extent of market. So in case if someone asks you derive mathematically how one can tell you that monopolist or monopoly in an economy is bad in terms of output, then you can just show how the extent of market turns to half in case of monopoly, but it is double the market output produced in case of perfectly competitive, which is for sure very bad in the output arena and for the consumers and for the economy. Now let's go for the equilibrium determination in Cournot. So in Cournot, we remember there are two forms. So our demand curve would be quantity here is Q1 plus Q2. MC as assumed will be C. To fixed cost will be 0. And this is MC of firm 1 and 2. So profit, which would be represented by pi for firm 1 is TR1 minus TC1, TR as we did earlier as well, and TR minus TC can also be seen as PQ1 minus CQ1. Then profit would of firm 1 would be, come on, A minus BQ multiplied by Q1 minus CQ1. Because it's of form 1, so we put Q1 and then we just multiply it in the bracket. It would be, okay, just first we'll open up this one. So A minus B, Q1 plus Q2 multiply by Q1 minus CQ1. Then it will be, we multiply the outer Q with all the inner brackets. So AQ1 minus BQ1 square minus BQ1 Q2 minus CQ1. I hope it makes sense. Then we have profit of firm 1 as we take out A from AQ1 minus CQ1. I mean A minus C, and we take out Q1. So then we are remaining with BQ1 square minus BQ1 Q2. Now, as we move on to here, we'll just also I start developing some kind of speech impediment list, every possible problem with my mouth starts happening as soon as I turn on my camera. So it's not like I'm camera shy, or let's say I'm not a good public speaker. In fact, I won many competition, but that doesn't matter. I don't know, from past 3 4 years it has been like this. So pardon me. Then we have this one. So okay, let me just tell you what I'm doing. So I'm getting the best response function of form 1. It would be to maximize the profit, and if you want to know how to maximize profit, then you do del pi 1 by del q1. So it will come as bq2. Okay, sorry, 2bq1. This is just basic differentiation with profit from with profit by q1. This would be bq2, and it will be equal to 0, which would be simple. Okay, let me just do like this. Now it's much better. Then we have 2bq1 equals to a minus c minus bq2. I hope it makes sense because I just did very simple thing. I took 2bq1 and took it to the right hand side, and everything else stays as it is. Now, the purpose for this is simply to get the left hand side as q1. So q1, and we divide the whole right hand side by minus c upon 2b minus q2 by 2. It will turn out to be q2 by 2. B and B will cut each other, and yeah, so yeah, I'm doing it right, right? Huh. Yes. So this is the best response function of form 1 in Cournot. Now we discussed there is simultaneous quantity setting. So we'll just come to the second form as well. So if someone wants to see this, the whole derivation again, one can see it. Let me just move ahead. Okay. So since now we have best response function of firm 1, this means that market extent output produced by firm 2 in the rest of the market, firm 1 will behave like a monopoly. What did I just wrote in my notes? Hmm. Okay, let's move to firm 2. Come on. So form 2 will be same thing. Pi 2 is PQ2 minus CQ2, which would be A minus BQ multiplied by Q2 minus CQ2. Should I write that like smaller? I don't know. TR2 minus TC2. Okay, let me just try it, writing it like little. So pi 2 is equals to A minus B Q1 plus Q2 multiplied by Q2 minus CQ2. This would turn out AQ2 minus BQ1 Q2 minus BQ2 square minus CQ2. Sorry, CQ2. Then pi 2 will be simply A minus C Q2 minus BQ1 Q2 minus BQ2 square. Then it will be mm, del pi 2 by del Q2